Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be ranking all of the Star Wars movies and TV shows. Okay, hopefully I can do one of these maybe every year because there's a lot of Star Wars projects that come out these days. Like four different new Star Wars shows came out in the past year, so who knows how much shit has been released by the end of 2023. Whatever. Okay, now I did forget about Rogue One when I was originally making this video, and when I got around to like the top five, I remembered about it. I remembered it. So I might say, let's say number eight, number 13, Return of the Jedi. That's not accurate, but I'm just saying. Let's just say I say that. I'm not going to mean that. I'm actually going to mean number 14. That's Return of the Jedi because I'm adding something in. I added in Rogue One later, so yeah, that's my bad. Whatever. Let's get on with it. Yes, I call myself a Star Wars fan, but I literally forgot about one of the movies. At last place is The Rise of Skywalker. I've voiced my opinion on this movie before in other videos, but I hate it. Yeah, but you might say, but Alfie, you're a big Star Wars fan. How can you hate anything from Star Wars? Well, okay. I love Star Wars, right? So, of course, I'm not going to like it when one of the movies shits on everything. Because I think that episode 9 just disrespects the series in so many ways, okay? And to be honest, when I get into one thing from this movie, I end up just going on to another thing that pisses me off, and it just keeps going, like, seriously. Each time I talk about this movie, when I'm talking about, like, I'm doing like a ranking video or something, I just keep on talking about it for, like, such a long time. Okay, each time I keep revisiting this movie, I hate it more and more. I didn't mind it when it released, okay, but I don't really mind. I don't hate any movie when it releases, just because that's how my brain works. Yeah, but then I found it okay. Then I was like, it's not really that great. Okay, Palpatine comes back and all that shit, and then now I just hate it. Seriously, my review of this movie is probably going to be very long because I have so much to say about it, and it's probably going to be might be one of the longest videos on this channel when it eventually comes out. But we have to make our way to the original trilogy and the other sequel movies first. Whatever, just a terrible movie to be honest. Okay, Palpatine comes back, new Death Destroying Star Destroyers. Just so much of this fucking movie just angers me. I mean, it's not all bad, okay? There is some light at the end of the tunnel. I guess Kylo Ren's redemption wasn't horrible. I feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but it was fine for this movie standards. But the plot holes in this movie just keep popping up. None of this makes any sense. Like seriously, I would change so much about this movie. I would just remake this entire movie, to be honest. Whatever. Yeah. Was there anything else good about this movie? Poe's speech before they went to Exegol, I guess, was cool. I don't know. I liked the inspirational speech he gave there. Yeah, I guess the scene was cool. Well, nothing. Let's move on. Next up is Star Wars Visions. Now, I was actually pretty excited for this show to come out. That was pretty different. Okay, all the episodes released in one day. Kind of like Tales of the Jedi. And I had never actually seen anything anime before, so I was very excited. And I thought if I like this, then maybe I can get into watching anime. I didn't really know what it was about, really. And let me just say that I'm never watching anything else anime. Yeah, I didn't really like Star Wars Visions at all. Okay, a few episodes were cool, like the one where they fought this old Sith guy, and the one with the twins. I guess those two were okay, but everything else just I don't know, man, just kind of bored me a lot at the time. Okay, none of the episodes were really that good. Okay, 2B1, I guess. I think I kind of like that one, but then the robot dude just defeated a Sith Lord like he was just a fucking Gary Stew. Okay, I don't care. Yeah, okay, this wasn't really like cool. People really praise the first episode a lot, but I don't really get it either. I just don't like it. Okay, Star Wars Visions is just not my thing. Okay, people have been praising it a lot, but from what I can see, not many people even watched it. None of my friends watched Star Wars Visions, and I don't know about season two because I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I like to watch everything Star Wars, but I don't really want to watch this. But I do, and I don't at the same time. Well, they're getting like non-Japanese studios to make this new one, so maybe I'll like it more. Maybe, but I don't know. It depends. But whatever. This is not good. Next up, number 17 is the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. This is the first movie we're talking about that's part of the Lucas era, and George Lucas is basically the reason why I even have to talk about this thing, okay? Why? George Lucas was the reason why he wanted this to be a movie. This really should have been just 5 episodes from the first season of the Clone Wars show, but no, they had to make it into a bloody movie. It annoys me because this animation it's not movie material. It would have been fine for the TV show. I'm pretty sure season 1 of the Clone Wars show was better looking than the movie. Why did George Lucas even want this to be a movie? Just have it be a show, man. Well, what was wrong with the show? Comparing this animation though to like the Clone Wars animation we have today, like from like Tales of the Jedi and the Bad Batch season 2, it's just incredible. Like seriously. It's just fun to see how far they've come, okay? And they got a few voice actors from the movies. Christopher Lee actually returns, and I'm pretty sure Samuel L. Jackson does as well to play Count Dooku and Mace Windu. So that's actually pretty cool. It's weird because I didn't actually notice. Okay, that's actually how good the other the voice actor they picked for Dooku in the actual Clone Wars show. He actually does actually sound a lot like Christopher Lee, so that's cool. Yeah. But whatever, even if this one that wasn't arc on the Clone Wars show, it wouldn't be even that good because they save a baby Jabba the Hutt. Wow. Okay, whatever. I talked about this movie a few months ago, back when I was actually uploading regularly on this channel. I guess there's nothing else I really have to say here. Ahsoka was annoying. Animation's crap. Lightsaber fights, just no. They just don't work in this movie. They feel like they move into places way too quickly. It's hard to explain. Next up, at number 16 is the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, this really isn't that great. Definitely the weakest Star Wars thing we've gotten this year. It's actually pretty weird because Star Wars has gotten like progressively better this year. Book of Boba Fett was shit. Obi-Wan was I guess okay. I guess it was good, yeah. And then Tales of the Jedi and Andor were great. So yeah, this show just kind of ruins Boba Fett for me, in just so many ways. Instead of having Boba progress into be a nice gentleman that he is in this show, he just kind of starts off as a different man. Apparently, he went through all of his really character development in the bloody Sarlacc pit. You might be saying, well, no, he went through his character development in the Tusken Raider clan. No. Okay, I don't understand that. Even at the beginning of the show, before he actually gets to know the Tuskens, he still is like pretty calm, and he just kind of doesn't really try to. He doesn't even try to really kill them or anything. He's just so gentle. Where's the Boba Fett that Vader had to warn not to use any disintegrations? That was the thing. Vader had to tell Boba not to kill anyone. Okay, but in this show, Boba's just so bloody calm. So there's another YouTuber called the Goldman. He actually made this cool video about how to fix Boba Fett, that the show, and his version of the show is so much better. So basically, in his version of the show, Boba goes on a big character arc. Okay, he kind of rules with fear at first, like Jabba did, but then over time he kind of realizes that that's not the proper way. That's not the best way to rule, and then he starts ruling with respect. And Boba goes on a character arc. Yeah, okay, great. Wow. Now, unlike Star Wars Visions, I actually wouldn't mind Boba Fett to get a season 2, because maybe we can have him go off and do some bounty hunting. Maybe he's forced to. We can see some. But we could have Boba Fett kill some people and be a badass. But we're probably not going to get that. Also, Crimson Dawn could return for a season 2, which is pretty cool, and that could bring back some stuff with the Solo movie, and we can bring back Kira and stuff, and that actually would be pretty cool. The big threat will be much bigger threat than the bloody Pike Syndicate, because they're absolute shit. Whatever, good parts about the show definitely would be like Cad Bane and Mando and those episodes, because Mando hijacks like 2 episodes of this show, and like half of the episode 7, half of the finale. It's basically just Boba Mandalorian season 2.5. It's kind of depressing, man. Boba doesn't even appear in the 5th episode. I think in episode 5, Book of Boba Fett, they don't even use Boba Fett's theme. I think they just use Mando's theme for that episode. Again, it's just depressing, man. Okay, Mando just kind of had to hijack it, and yeah, I mean, whatever. It kind of makes the show a little bit better, though, except for the fact, oh god. Except for the fact I don't like, I kind of ruined Mando season 3 by having Mando and Grogu reunite. That just takes away everything from the Mandalorian season 2 finale. Now I know these shows are supposed to connect together, but I want to see Mando's story progress in the Mandalorian, not in the Book of Boba Fett. I wish in season 3 Mando and Grogu spent some time away from each other. Okay, and we can like see Grogu and Luke interacting in that show, interacting in the Mandalorian with him, that's part of his story. But and instead of just having it all happen in Book of Boba Fett, because people who don't watch Book of Boba Fett and watch Mandalorian are going to be really confused when they tune in for the season 3 premiere. Whatever. Let's move on. I've been talking way too much about the show. Number 15 is Star Wars The Last Jedi, probably the most controversial Star Wars movie ever. And I'm presuming you all know why, because you've probably seen the movie and all that. There's a lot of controversial decisions that happen in this movie and all the plot twists. And yeah, I used to love this movie, but like there was a Skywalker, that love has faded. I'm not the biggest hater of this movie. I guess I don't absolutely hate this movie, but it just made a lot of decisions that I just don't like. Like, there's a lot of those plot holes that I just don't like, and yeah, it kind of felt like I wrote the Star Wars series into a corner, and I don't think I didn't really make you excited for Episode 9 in a way. It just kind of ended in a way that it didn't end in a good way for Episode 9. That's basically the good way of saying it. Like, people are still shocked to this day that the sequel trilogy did not have a story, and it's stupid. Like, they didn't even plan out the main synopsis for this bloody trilogy, okay? It really shows here, I think, a lot of the time, and then episode 8 and 9 especially, that, like, okay, decisions made in episode 8 were just completely contradicted in episode 9, okay? Seriously, it's so annoying, because I actually do kind of like some of the decisions made in this movie, like the Rey is nobody plotline, but episode 9 just had to ruin it. But I guess it's saying more about episode 9 and episode 8. Yeah, I didn't know how like where Luke went with his character arc, and the whole light speed chasing, like the chase through space with the Star Destroyer chasing down the last rebel ship. That was just boring. Holdo's one of the worst characters ever, to be honest. I just don't like her at all, and it's just so annoying. So that's two of the plots, not really that great. And then Canto Bite, yeah, it doesn't make things better. To be honest, the first half of this movie just really isn't that good at all, okay? But I guess the second half is better. I guess it's kind of better. Whatever, I guess there's a good amount of this movie I like. I'm not the biggest fan of Luke sacrificing himself and him dying, but it wasn't horrible. I do like after he appears on screen and saves the day, no one else dies for the entire movie except for him. That was kind of a nice thing. And how we faced down the entire First Order, I guess, and that was the thing that he said he wasn't going to do earlier in the film. But I do just kind of wish he did that, by himself in real life, instead of just making everyone think he was there. Whatever. I like the opening and all the action scenes and that stuff, and yeah. But overall, this movie just isn't really that good. Whatever. I'll talk about it again someday. It always kind of feels weird talking about this movie because, it feels like at this point it's the most talked about Star Wars movie just because of how controversial it is, man. It just feels weird. Like I feel like it's like it's nearly a classic at this stage. Like the most hated Star Wars movie is just this film. It's not the prequels anymore, man. This film's gets shat on a lot. Whatever. Let's move on. And now at number 14 is episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, the biggest problem with this movie is that it's just kind of boring, okay? The characters all speak in this same boring tone the whole bloody movie. And yeah, it's pretty boring, although there are some very good parts about it, like Maul is pretty cool looking, and the whole Alexa Badoo at the end is pretty cool, although Maul is cool looking, he doesn't really say anything, and he dies literally after getting like 5 minutes of screen time. I really wish he just lived on to come back in episode 2 and 3. Obviously he does live, but he goes back in the Clone Wars. Like, Lucas just kind of throws him away. He was meant to die. I don't understand that. Why couldn't him and Obi-Wan just have a rivalry for the whole trilogy? It would have made it a lot better. I know the thing that Lucas was trying to go for with 3 different Sith Lords, 2 Sith Lords and 1 cyborg named Grievous was to have like the three main parts of Darth Vader displayed in them. Like Dooku displays his turn from the Jedi, and Maul represents Vader's hatred, and then Grievous represents the cyborg part of him. But still, whatever. And there are a lot of stupid parts about this movie as well. Okay, like why wasn't Anakin allowed to be trained? That doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, whatever. But I do like Qui-Gon in this movie. Okay, I guess, but again, it was boring, and yeah, whatever. I don't actually mind Jar Jar though. Actually, I kind of feel like the movie needs him. Okay, I feel like it would be a lot more boring without Jar Jar. Okay, that's very weird to say that. I think something needs more Jar Jar Binks, but I think it's kind of necessary. And the pod race kind of continues for a little bit too long. And there was no way in hell you'd be able to make Newt Gunray a threatening villain. Though it is very fun to watch, though. Whatever. I guess Phantom Menace isn't all that bad, but it's not great. Oh, also, it does a pretty bad job at introducing you into the Star Wars universe. Although there's a lot of good things about watching the Star Wars movies in like chronological order. Starting with the Phantom Menace is not that great. I feel like it just doesn't explain anything nearly as good as Episode 4: A New Hope. Like seriously, it's embarrassing how badly this movie does it actually explaining the Star Wars universe and like introducing you to the Star Wars universe. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Okay, next up at number 13, I think, is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, the first Disney film, one of the first Disney products, actually. I think Star Wars Rebels, I think, maybe came out a little bit before this, but whatever. This first Disney film, the introduction. None of us knew how divisive this trilogy would be back then. I mean, this was the first movie Star Wars movie I went to see in cinemas, obviously, because I was born in 2007 after Revenge of the Sith came out. Okay, I remember when I first got into Star Wars back in like summer 2015. Okay, I heard that this was a film coming out later that year, and I was excited for it. Wow, memories, man. But memories cannot save this film because although it's the best of the sequel trilogy, that's like saying that, like, I don't know. That's like saying that one method of suicide is better than okay. Let's just not compare it to anything. Whatever. Yeah, we all know the problem with this film that is overly similar to A New Hope. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Like, although a lot of the plot threads are copied from A New Hope, which I don't think is that great. Okay, and Cosmonaut Variety Hour makes a point that Disney was never gonna go that far with this film, make a very risky film. And although I agree, yeah, but they really should have just copied one of the previous films. Like, okay, take a couple of risks. Disney, come on. But I do agree that it kind of feels different to A New Hope. A New Hope, like, of course, the same plot threads are here, but it just kind of feels different. Okay, the feeling of the movie is different, which I think is cool. So I mean, that's why some people just don't notice the same plot threads, but some of them are obvious. Like Starkiller Base is obviously the same as the Death Star. But yes, some of the plot threads that they do copy from New Hope, they just don't even do as well. Like Starkiller Base just comes out of nowhere and just kind of defeated without any problem. Like, remember how hard it was and how intense the Death Star battle was? You don't really feel that with the Starkiller Base. Like, seriously, the ending battle, isn't it, is just kind of lame. But there's a lot of things about this film I do like. Like Finn's whole story arc is actually pretty good, and Rey isn't terrible in this movie. Okay. People say she has no flaws, but I do think she has a few flaws. Okay, the problem with Rey's character is that she just doesn't suffer any consequences for anything that she does, which is annoying. Okay, and it's kind of one of the reasons why people call her a Mary Sue. Okay, but she isn't a complete Mary Sue, actually, in my opinion. Although she's a little bit too good with the lightsaber, though. Whatever, I like this film. Han Solo, I think, was actually done pretty well. I could go back and forth with this one, but I'm pretty sure Han Solo was good. I don't have enough time to explain why he is good because I only want to talk about this film for 2 or 3 minutes at a time, though. But yeah, I don't know what J.J. Abrams was going with the whole Luke going out to an island thing. I mean, that kind of set up Rian Johnson's thing for the Last Jedi. If I'm just wondering if J.J. Abrams did direct the Last Jedi, would he have Luke be the way he was in episode 8? Because it was kind of felt like it was set up for that to happen, in my opinion. But Whatever. I don't know, guys. Let's move on. Next up, number 12 is Attack of the Clones. I think it's number 12. Is it number 12? Yes, number 12 is Attack of the Clones. Now, I used to not like this movie as much, but unlike the sequels, I've actually grown to like it more over time. Now there are a good few plot holes in this movie, and yeah, I said it before that I hate all the plot holes in episode 9, but these aren't as big of a deal. But there's a few ones like why exactly to do all these systems and stuff want to leave the Republic? Why? Okay, that's the thing that jumpstarts the whole plot, right? But we don't really get to know why. Obi-Wan learns that Jango Fett and the clones are connected on Kamino, and never puts two and two together that the clones maybe connected to Dooku as well, who's the villain. So yeah, Obi-Wan is pretty stupid. But whatever. This film is actually pretty alright. Although Anakin and Padme's romance is not great. There's still a lot of cool parts about this movie. I do actually really like the part with Obi-Wan and the asteroid field and all that, and the whole ending battle is actually really cool, except the lightsaber battle, though. Okay, it's the opposite in episode 1 where everything is all right except for the lightsaber battle and the climax. No, now everything is cool except for that lightsaber battle. Like it's really really lame. Well, definitely one of the weakest lightsaber duels in history. Like, come on, man. Even the droid factory sequence I do find to be fun, although it is pointless and feels like a video game, and yeah, it's weird. I think this said that the film was that whole scene was shot in one day, and it kind of feels like it. There could be a lot of improvements made to this movie, yeah, and it's kind of weird how I'm complaining about so much of these things, even though I state to be a Star Wars fan. But whatever, that's just how Star Wars works. Okay, this film isn't bad in my opinion, though. We're out of the bad territory. We went from terrible to bad to okay. I should have just liked this movie. I just enjoy watching it. Okay, and some of the quotes are just so bad. One of the weird things about this movie is that when Obi-Wan jumps out the window, right? And yeah, he jumps out the window, right? And then 10 minutes later, Anakin jumps out of the space car, and Obi-Wan's like, I hate it when he does that. Even though you literally jumped out of a window in a way worse situation. What the hell, Obi-Wan? Shut up. Wow, okay, whatever. I do wish Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship was a bit better, and I do wish they kind of had, a bit more time connecting, because that's what people have complained about the prequels, is that Obi-Wan and Anakin don't really feel like they're friends in this movie, but that's a bit of a pity. Whatever. Let's move on. Okay, so number 11 is The Bad Batch. Now, I reviewed all of these episodes that came out a year ago, and then I ranked them, and now I'm talking about it here. I'm probably gonna make another video before Bad Batch Season 2 comes out, or maybe like early January, early next year of Season 1, like a big retrospective video. Okay, so yeah, Bad Batch Season 1, it was all right, I guess. I did think about it a little bit more high. I did think it was better when it came out, but I mean, it's all right. It has a lot of filler in it, like a lot of videos, or a lot of episodes that were just doing Sid missions, like going on a mission, and that's it. But a lot of episodes were really great, like the first episode and the 7th, 8th, and 9th episode. Those three were really good, like 3 straight bangers in a row. And the second last episode was really good as well, and the finale was really underwhelming. Like, it was just them escaping Kamino, and that was it. And that was pretty unfortunate. But yeah, got to see Tarkin here, which is pretty cool. And there was like this new Admiral Rampart it was cool. Crosshair turning evil, that was good. And the plot twist in the second last episode, where he actually had taken out his ship all this time, that was really good. And we get Cad Bane, that was really good at the end of the 8th episode. Captain Rex, Fennec Shand. We got a good few appearances here. But one of the characters I don't like in this show is the new Sid character. I don't know. I just didn't really like her. To be honest, I really hope they just stop doing those Sid missions, okay, and actually do something else. Maybe I don't care if they help out with the rebellion or do something different. I don't know. I just want them to do something different. Okay, I really like Boba to show up. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, that was just pretty cool. They did waste Echo, though. I feel like Echo could have done a lot more on this show, but it's fine. All the characters do have something to do, like including Wrecker with this whole inhibitor chip plot. That was cool. I mean, I mean, Tech doesn't have like a big character arc or anything, but he still helps out with the missions all the time, okay, and stuff. But Echo doesn't really feel like he just does anything. Whatever. Hopefully, Echo does more next season because he's an OG clone boy. Okay, he has to get more attention. So yeah, next up is Rogue One. I really did forget about this movie. And that's unfortunate because this movie is not that bad, okay? It's kind of weird how I forgot about it though, because Andor is out, and that's like basically a continuation of this other prequel to Rogue One. So yeah, that's weird. But just matching with my review, I said that it wasn't the most forgettable Star Wars film, and here I am forgetting it. The ending of this movie was absolutely amazing. Like seriously, I think everyone says that. I kind of have just similar thoughts to everyone else in this movie. Like the characters are kind of bland, okay, except kind of Cassian, and like I think Jyn is a pretty good character, and K2SO, yeah. But Jyn certainly could have been handled better. I feel like she kind of just goes from like hate to hate to just being a rogue, to being just like a criminal, to go into be a rebel just because her father died, even though a rebel literally killed her father. So that's just stupid. Whatever. I mean, it's fine. And the CGI face alterations weren't great. Like Leia's and Tarkin's. And I think they got an actor to like to be a stand-in for them on set, and like he actually looked enough like Tarkin for them to actually make the scenes without the CGI face remake. So why didn't they just do that? Whatever. I guess they wanted to progress the technology, and you shut up. Whatever. I do love Scarif. That was a very good planet. And actually, they hop around from different planet like 5 different times in like the first like 2 minutes. Just go from one place to another, and it's just a little bit too much, but it's fine. Whatever. I don't really have much to say about this movie. Okay, yeah, it's a bit really annoying that I forgot about it. Okay, and it's not like I'm gonna redo the whole video because I want to get this video out. I want to get a video out. Wow, is that too much to ask? Okay, next up, we're going into the top 10 now with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Don't really think this show exactly deserves to be in a top 10 list, but whatever. The Obi-Wan show was actually pretty good in my opinion. Okay, a lot of people were disappointed by it, and although I was a little bit disappointed, like it should have been better, I'll give it a pass. I made a lot of videos about the show when it came out. Like seriously, Alpha Channel was booming with uploads then with like 4 videos a week. Well, I guess I did have daily videos at one point, but 4 videos a day compared to what we have now is pretty good. I'm gonna try to get in one good, decent length video per week. That's actually a high effort video, guys. Okay, I know no more 4 videos a week. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that anymore. But whatever. I mean, I haven't been exactly very productive recently, so yeah, that's my excuse, not being productive. But yeah, this show, like everyone has said this, and I've said this many times, like so many times over. It's almost nothing I can say at this point. Needs a higher budget, obviously. Like seriously, Andor, man, I cannot say anything original about this. I've said this all before. Andor had such a bigger budget for the show. Okay, this show revolves too much on the volume technology, and it just really shows here. But Andor fixed that problem. We'll talk about Andor a little bit more later. But yeah, I think I do know why Andor got like the bigger budget, obviously, because people were going to watch Obi-Wan either way. It's about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everyone knows this guy, but no one knows who Cassian Andor is, so they need to build up the marketing for the show, and I guess they did that because the show actually did all right. It's on Cassian Andor. Of course, it didn't do as well as Obi-Wan because it's Cassian Andor. But yeah, I guess this show was alright. I don't know if we're going to talk about it again at some point. I feel like I've already talked about it enough. Like, what else can I say? I've made reviews in each different episode. I might do it again in a couple of years once the show is settled a little bit longer. But yeah, whatever. I've talked about the show enough. Okay, number 9 is Return of the Jedi. Yeah, let's go. The weakest out of the original trilogy. So yeah, there is a good amount of problems with this one. People hate the Ewoks and all that, and a lot of the part of this movie is a bit boring. But I don't really mind the Ewoks in the middle act. I guess the speeder chase was pretty fun, but the Jabba's Palace part of the movie just really wasn't the best. Luke's plan didn't make any sense, and this movie did kind of ruin Boba Fett. They should have had him protecting the shield generator at Endor and actually have him go out, with style. Maybe Han kills him or something. He was made out to be so cool in Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and it's just so disappointing here. But the final act is definitely the best part of the movie. One of the best parts about the whole original trilogy, of course. We have the Endor battle down below, and the Ewoks taking the stormtroopers. Now I know it's a bit weird that all these bloody teddy bears take out the stormtroopers. Yeah, it's kind of weird cutting back from Luke getting shocked by lightning and then basically dying to little teddy bears. And it's really sad when one of those little Ewoks die. It's like this is it's just so sad, man. Like such a sad part about the movie. I'm getting emotional for Star Wars teddy bears, yay. But I don't know, there was a lot of Ewoks on the moon, so and I kind of like the theme of the Ewoks kind of rising up against the Empire and all that, even though the Empire didn't exactly do anything wrong, but whatever. And then there's the fight with Luke versus Vader, that was pretty fun. Of course, one of the best parts about the whole entire original trilogy, okay, Vader's redemption, and Luke bringing back his father to the light side, Palpatine's death. He should have died here, obviously. Stupid secret trilogy, stupid episode 9. Nothing really about this finale I can really say that hasn't been said already. Also, the space battle. I was going to talk about that before. The whatever, I just forgot. Lando leading the space battle was also pretty fun to see. It felt different to the Death Star, the original Death Star battle. It wasn't nearly as good, but it was still different how they went inside the Death Star. But actually, they probably shouldn't have done like a second Death Star. Probably should have come up with a different threat for this movie instead of another bloody Death Star. Okay, although at least it wasn't as bad as in Episode 9. Definitely not as bad as Episode 9 with the planet destroying Star Destroyer fleet. Whatever, this movie is good. Okay, but definitely not nearly as good as Episode 4 and 5. But I would call this movie good, like definitely good, okay, in my opinion, because it has a lot of strong elements to it. So yeah, we're getting to the good movies now, yay. Okay, next up is Tales of the Jedi, number 8. Now this is one of the more recent things we've gotten. We got 6 episodes, all the 6 episodes in one day, and also on that day we got an episode of Andor. So that was a big day for Star Wars. They should have come out on a different day, like maybe the Friday of that week instead of the Wednesday with the Ender episodes, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So I have reviewed this show a few weeks ago, so I'm going to be brief here. Basically, the Ahsoka episodes were good, but they weren't really that good. They kind of felt like I've already seen them before. No, I've already seen them before. But, we didn't really need more of Ahsoka's character, okay? I did like the 5th episode, though, with her training and all that. I did think it was a little bit weird how they kind of split her arc up. Instead of having the first 3 episodes be Dooku episodes and the second 3 be Ahsoka episodes, they had the first one be Ahsoka and then the following 3 be Dooku and then the last 2 be Ahsoka. But the Dooku episodes I absolutely love. They were amazing. Okay, especially the last one with Yaddle. I thought it was amazing. And just seeing how Dooku felt at the dark side and the path and kind of go all around the prequel era here. Okay, from like 20 years before it started, and then like to after episode 3. You can see those returning characters and new character designs and all that. It's really cool, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. Actually, I'm saying like it's not going to come out. It hasn't come out yet. Okay. Although this isn't the best Star Wars show ever, it is still pretty good, and I actually cannot wait for them to maybe continue this at some point. Maybe they can do like more loads of other Star Wars stories with other smaller Star Wars characters, like Star Wars Jedi that don't get enough the screen time. Like Ahsoka has enough screen time. She's been in enough crap at this point. You know what I mean? She's in Clone Wars, she's in Rebels, she's in Mandalorian, she was in Book of Boba Fett. She's gonna have her own show, and she's been in Clone Wars, of course. And I feel like she's just been in enough stuff at this point. But it'd be cool to get younger versions, more young versions of Dooku for his own episodes. Maybe Qui-Gon and younger Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, because we haven't really seen that except for episode 1. That'd be really cool to see Obi-Wan and Satine meet. Whatever. I'm rambling. This show was pretty good, okay, and Tales of the Sith, that would be really cool. Hopefully this gets to season 2. Number 7 is Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Now, I used to put this as like one of my favorite Star Wars show, but not anymore. It is now my 3rd favorite. Now, okay, like this is some very good Star Wars content. Like seriously, some of the best episodes of Clone Wars, like Mandalorian episodes and the episodes where Maul comes back, and the final arc, obviously, kind of combining Maul coming back and Mandalore. And the Ahsoka, And Ahsoka's last arc, that was amazing as well. And there's just a lot of arcs in the show that are good. But there are also some that aren't great. Now I haven't seen all the Clone Wars, but I've seen enough of it to rank it. Okay, like the only bits I haven't seen are like the second half of season 4 and a bit of season 5 and a couple of episodes in season 6. So I basically seen most of it. Okay, but when I do my next ranking next year, I'm sure I will have seen it all. Yeah, so there's a loads of good episodes, but also some not good episodes, like this episodes with R2D2 and other droid friends just palling around, and just no, I really wish they didn't. Those episodes did not exist. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm not really looking forward to. Now, obviously, it's well known that this Clone Wars got better in its later seasons when it brought Maul back and just got better. Like earlier on, it's suffered some of the same problems as the Clone Wars movie, but I guess it was better because it was a TV show, instead of a movie. The animation was not as big of a problem earlier on because it's a TV show, it's not a bloody movie, okay? So it feels right, whatever. But like the animation improved over time, and by season 7, the animation was absolutely amazing. It was so weird, like comparing season 7 of the Clone Wars back to season 1. Seriously. And they did not hold back from season 7. Okay, the Trace and Rafa arc is pretty hated. Probably one of the most hated Star Wars Clone Wars arcs. Even though I don't think it's the worst one. Like I feel like there's some of the other seasons that are worse. People just kind of forgot they exist. But with the new season of Clone Wars, okay, more people are gonna watch the whole thing, so they're gonna complain about this arc. Okay, but the thing with Clone Wars is you don't really have to watch it all. Okay, with a lot of the other Star Wars shows, they have like overarching stories. Like let's say, Mandalorian. It feels like you kind of have to watch every episode to get the full story. But Clone Wars, you don't have to. You don't have to watch it all. Like they're all like kind of individual stories that kind of lead together and form, I guess, a war. And Clone Wars was great. Okay, this is obviously the main Star Wars show. The first Star Wars show they needed to make. Okay, and yeah. They're still going with this animation style, which is just so cool. Okay, I love this animation style. Okay, they made Bad Batch out of it and Tales of the Jedi, and I guess Rebels was close to it, but I really hope they don't use the Star Wars Rebels animation again because the Clone Wars version, the Clone Wars animation is way better. I'm really glad they went back to it with Bad Batch. Whatever. Yeah. Oh, there was also loads of unfinished episodes that were made for this episode for this show before Disney cancelled it that didn't actually see the light of day, which I'm really disappointed. Why couldn't they like made season 7 and 8 and like make so much more episodes? That would be great for the Clone Wars. 8 seasons instead of 7 and like 8 full length seasons. Okay, whatever. It's fine though. Clone Wars was great. Okay, number 6 is The Mandalorian, and now we're gonna get season 3 of The Mandalorian next February. No, I think it's March 1st. We're actually getting the first episode, so that's pretty soon. So yeah, Mandalorian is really what is the reason why we're getting so much Star Wars shows today. That's so well, and then introduced Baby Yoda, and I guess the introduction to the Mandoverse and all the new Star Wars shows we have today. If the Mandalorian didn't succeed, then Star Wars might be looking very different. I feel like there just wouldn't be as much stuff. I mean, I don't know. If the Mandalorian flopped, then Disney, I don't even know what they would do. I guess it might maybe just continue making on a movie every couple of years or something. I don't know. Whatever. That's what this video is about. Mandalorian, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna make a video series on it eventually. I say that eventually. Okay, I'm gonna talk about all these shows eventually. All these shows and movies, okay, that I haven't talked about and then talking about in this video. I'm gonna talk about them eventually. Well, maybe not Star Wars Visions. I think I'm done with that. I hate the show. Season 1 was great. I'm pretty familiar with that. Okay, we have the first 3 episodes that opened up the season, and then like three, and then another 3 episodes that were like kind of in between, and then like Mando and Grogu building their friendship, and then the last 2 episodes kind of felt like a finale of sorts. Season 2 was also pretty great. I do forget what happens in the first like 4 episodes, but then like episode 5 has Ahsoka, episode 6 is Boba, and then episode 7. What was episode 7? Oh yeah, it had there was a big rescue mission. Yeah, so it was the big rescue mission, the finale, and that was great. Okay, seriously. Although Book of Boba Fett did kind of ruin the whole ending of season 2, kind of. I still think it was great. Okay, it doesn't make season 2 worse. Okay, I really do like Mandalorian, one of the best Star Wars shows. Okay, and doesn't really have that much bad episodes. I do need to rewatch it though. I'll rewatch it eventually. Okay, not rewatching stuff all the time isn't a bad thing. Okay, just when I rewatch it again, maybe in another couple of months. Okay, it'll be completely fresh in my mind. Okay, because I swear to God, I don't really have much of a clue of like what happens in the first 4 episodes. First 4 episodes of season 2. I'm talking about. Whatever, Mandalorian, great show. Let's move on. Number 5 is Solo, and I know not people are going to be a little bit annoyed at me here. Like, why put the Han Solo movie at number 5? And yeah, this is an odd choice, but I don't care. I like this movie. Okay, it used to be at number 4, but there is some stiff competition these days in Star Wars. Well, I mean, there is one recent show that's just overtaken this thing because it's really good. This movie is just fun. It doesn't have anything wrong with it, in my opinion. It's just fun, okay? It can never be really up there though with like the really really good Star Wars project. It is good. Well, it is really good, but not really really good. It's just fun. Every single scene in this movie is great. All the action scenes, like the Kessel Run is so intense, and even though I know that the characters can't really die like without like a character can't just die in the Kessel Run without them all dying because the ship would just explode if one of them was supposed to die. I don't know how else they would. You Han, Lando, and Chewie aren't dead and don't die. Actually, most of the characters actually die. Okay, like L3 dies, Beckett dies, the Beckett's girlfriend dies, and the four-armed alien dude dies. Okay, like the cool new like design the Falcon has. Although there's a few things that's just a bit weird about this movie, like the way Han gets his name is stupid. And yeah. But whatever. Fun is just the way I say to this movie, and there's not really much to say about it. I made a review on it before, so yeah, okay, whatever. I'm fine. Talk about this movie already. It's good. Let's move on. Okay, next up at number 4 is Andor. Okay, this is the most recent Star Wars project, I guess. Well, I mean, it isn't the most recent project to start, but it's the most recent Star Wars project to end. It's weird because Tales of the Jedi kind of came out in the middle of this show. I'm just going to call it most recent because it ended the most recently. This show is actually pretty good. Everyone is saying that recently. Okay, it's such a breath of fresh air. Now, maybe it's just because of this is the newest show, and I'm a sucker for new stuff. Like whenever something new comes out, I'm always just like, yeah, this is really good. And then over time, it kind of fades, in my opinion. Usually, that's what happens. But this show is just so good, man. Honestly, like the first 3 episodes weren't amazing, but like everything from episode 4 onwards, in my opinion, was great. Just everything, the characters and just the set, the look of the show just looks so real and everything, and just the themes of the show, okay, and the themes of rebellion, okay, so great. Like it has like a kind of arc structure where it kind of builds towards a good finale. It is a slow paced show, but I think it's actually worth it. Okay, well, I mean, except for the opening arc, I feel like that could have been a little bit faster. We don't just follow Andor; we follow loads of different characters, and it's actually really good. Okay, I really got surprised about how much different paths this show took. Now, I will go more in depth in this show in a week or two, maybe, when I release my Andor review. And I've already started working on that. I've talked about the first 3 episodes. I recorded myself talking about the first 3 episodes. So, yeah, I just need to, talk about the other 9. Hopefully, they'll be out before the end of the year. But if it isn't, it'll be out, like, very early 2023. Okay, I'm hoping that I can get it out before the end of the year. Maybe another video as well, hopefully. But I don't really know at this point. Whatever, this show was great, okay? So much great characters and stuff, and every arc has something new, like, seriously. Yeah, I mean, every arc feels different, okay? The first arc has, like mainly on Ferrex setting things up, and then like, the stealth mission, I guess, in the second arc, and hiding out on Aldhani, the prison arc, and then the finale. It was great, it was great. Okay, number 3 is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the original Star Wars film. Wow. I feel like I've talked about this movie a lot, even though I haven't even made a proper review on it yet, and I plan to do so. Actually, I probably should just make a review on all 3 of the original trilogy films, because I don't really have anything original to say about them. It'll be called Why the Original Trilogy is a Perfect Trilogy, or something like that. I don't know, man. I was going to do them all individually, but I can't. This movie is great. It just flows perfectly. Okay, it might even be a perfect film. Who knows? Okay, it's just great. It introduces all the themes so well. And although it is might be a little bit boring to some people, I don't find it boring in my opinion. Although the lightsaber duel is very outdated. Okay, the space battle I actually used to find boring, but now I don't. Honestly, it's actually really cool. Okay, I was watching it with a friend, and the friend was just trying to figure out who was gonna die next, which is a bit weird. Although when this film originally came out on, or like before 2016, you could ask why the hell was the Death Star made like this? Like, why did it have like a small little hole that if you shot a blaster into, the whole thing would blow up? Well, Rogue One solves that problem. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, although it doesn't exactly fix this movie's problem, it's still cool. I like when in the final trench battle, Luke kind of goes on a little mini character arc. Okay, which is cool. I forget what the arc actually was though. There was a video on it. Everything from this movie is perfect. Okay, I can't really think of much things wrong with it. Well, there is one thing. You see, I do like Leia and all that, but I kind of feel like they could have shown her a different way. Like, she has no reaction to her whole planet getting blown up. And even for Star Wars, that's realistic. That's unrealistic. Luke kind of took Obi-Wan dying. I mean, not hard, but like he was still sad by it. Okay, even though in real life, I'd say someone might be crying over that. Actually, Luke should be crying over losing Uncle Owen and Emperor. And then losing Obi Wan would be traumatizing because like you didn't have no one to look up to now. Okay, it's just you. That'd be horrible. But Leia losing her whole planet, she just doesn't have any reaction to it. Like nothing. Just nothing. Like it feels weird. Like honestly should be a little bit more. Leia, you do realize that you just lost your entire family, right? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna talk about this more in my review that's gonna hopefully come out soon. I really wanted to release a New Hope review back in September, but that didn't happen. Too busy making my Young Sheldon season 5 retrospective. Whatever, guys. Let's move on. And of course, number two is Empire Strikes Back. Actually, I probably shouldn't say of course, but many people have this number one, and I had it at number one. Probably the last time I ranked these movies, which was like a year and a half ago, actually. Well, technically, I did rank them recently in a tier list over my second channel, but that doesn't count. That's the second channel. So Alpha Channel Extra. It's just the one. It's one everybody knows about in my school. Really, everyone had to pick Alpha Channel Extra. That's literally watch one. Anyway, whatever. Empire Strikes Back is, many people's favorite Star Wars film, and for good reason. It's great. Okay, not many films up to this point actually had like heroes losing, and this is one of the first ones. And Revenge of the Sith does that, and we haven't talked about that one yet. And there's only one spot left, so this movie is perfect from all the stuff in Hoth to the stuff in Dagobah and the space chase, and of course the big twist at the end, and wow, there's nothing to talk about. Some of these movies has been talked about so many times that I don't even know what to talk about here. This is the reason why I wanted to do the three original trilogy movies in one video. This is why. I do like how Boba Fett was actually made out to be a big threat in this movie. Okay, Vader had to personally tell him no disintegrations. Okay, Vader had to tell him not to go kill people. Yeah, I always found it weird how Vader entered the Echo base. This is just a random thought, but like, why didn't he want to capture Luke or something, or maybe he wanted to capture the rebels? But like, why did he have to go in there by himself? Well, no, he didn't go in there by himself, but I don't know, man. It was a bit, might be a little bit, it's been a little bit stupid. I love the scene where Luke goes into the cave, great, where he slices off Vader's helmet, and then it's him underneath. That was a big teaser to the spoiler at the end. Whatever, okay, and this everyone knows the spoiler from this movie just because of how good it is, okay, and it's pretty great, okay, great Star Wars movie, of course, everyone knows that. Okay, and number one is Revenge of the Sith. I bet you probably would have guessed that from process of elimination, but this is just the best Star Wars film. Okay, maybe that's the best, but it's my personal favorite anyway. Okay, Anakin basically kills everyone in this movie. That's the reason I like it. No, this movie just does everything so right. Although maybe there could be some improvements to it. It's just great. I just love how I don't know how it all happens. Okay. You get to see the tragedy of all the Jedi. You get to see them all die. You get to see them fall into this big, awesome trap. You get to see Palpatine pull the strings, okay, and initiate his plan. The thing that he was supposed to be doing in the last two films, but didn't really do it that well. Get to see Anakin fall to the dark side, okay? And although people should think he should have done it a little bit slower, but I kind of like how the dark side is corruptive. It can just corrupt your mind, okay? And it's kind of like a disease. Now, I am writing a version of Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith that I'm going to post on this channel. It's called What If a 10-Year-old Directed the Revenge of the Sith? Now, I've already done this I've already done What If a 10-Year-old Directed Episode 1 and 2, so check those out in the Star Wars Fanfictions playlist. To get to that tab, you just need to go over to the playlist section. It's not that hard, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna explore this more, right? Okay, the dark side is a disease. Okay, so it spreads throughout your body. It corrupts you. That's my theory, anyway. I don't know if that's what Lucas was going for, but whatever. It's cool. Yeah. I see a lot of war. Chewie probably shouldn't have been in this movie. Just saying. I always have a big problem with that. Like, why was Chewie in the movie? Whatever. He was just there for no reason. Palpatine's great. Order 66 is great. Anakin killing younglings is great. We should have seen more of that. We actually got to see more of that in Kenobi. That was pretty dark. It's great. Okay, it just feels like a big bloody finale. Okay, it's great. And that's it. The worst Star Wars movie is The Rise of Skywalker, and the best Star Wars movie is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And that does it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I mean, you made it this far through the video, so you might as well subscribe. Okay, yeah, Andor review coming out maybe in a few weeks. I don't know, man. Okay, it's Christmas, and you might be thinking, yeah, I've been left videos, but no, I mean, I'm off school, so I have more time, so that should, by default, allow me to make more videos. And I'm just feeling more productive again. I feel like, I say that all the time to myself, but I haven't been really on the grind that much recently, but I'm trying to get back on the grind. So, yeah, whatever, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.